guests can be seated. The following letters and certificates will not be formally presented this afternoon, but all of you are welcome to peruse them, and they'll be on the table here in the auditorium and out at the reception area after we're done. Captain Young received letters of congratulations from Buddy Dyer, the mayor of Orlando, Florida, and from Rick Scott, the governor of Florida. And she also received certificates of appreciation for her 26 years of service from Lieutenant General Burgess, the director of DIA, and from President Barack Obama. At this time, Mr. Stefan Arredondo, the Sub-Saharan Africa Division's Senior Intelligence Officer, will present the division gift.
This is the official seal that we have sort of adopted in DXA-7. This is a lion with crossed spears. And we've had this for quite a while, and I know when Steph first came to us, she didn't quite know what it was at first, but we educated her pretty quickly. But this is being presented from the division, from DXA-7 to Steph. And on behalf of, actually today, 30 DAOs now downrange, we asked the DAOs to provide a coin, the ones that could provide a coin at the time. But this gives you some example of the hard work our guys do downrange. And I know there's a few missing here, just didn't get here in time, but hopefully they will. We'll put them back in. But here's about 30 coins that you'll get from the DAOs downrange in Sub-Saharan Africa.
Steph, you just stand fast. You can relax a little. You don't have to stand at attention. According to some accounts of naval history and tradition, when a sailor retires as in departing the ship for the last time, it is considered bad luck for that sailor's shadow to touch land before she does. Thus, the sailor's shipmates would construct a sturdy box, handcrafted of the finest materials, in which to display mementos of the sailor's accomplishments, thereby symbolically creating a shadow of the sailor. The box safely contains the sailor's shadow until he or she safely ashore, at which time the shadow box can be given to the sailor in a presentation ceremony. Historically, when a sailor would join a ship's crew, she would join that crew for her entire career. During the sailor's voyages to ports of call around the world, she would collect many trinkets, souvenirs, and reminders of her travels. And naturally, as space aboard a ship was at a premium, these items tended to be small, and when the sailor piped ashore for the last time, her shipmates saw to it that a special ceremonial box was constructed for her. The box would hold all those possessions that had been collected during the many voyages and would simultaneously symbolize the sailor's career and time aboard ship. In this particular case, we committed a casualty aboard the ship because we took the helm, but that's okay. They're going to get that fixed right away. My wife, Lori, and I put this box together for Stephanie on behalf of all of her shipmates through these many years. And as usual in the Nicholson household, go ahead, come on. I was going to say, as usual in the Nicholson household, if you like it, Steph, it was all Lori's idea. If you don't like it, well, you can blame me. The good news is it's got screws on the back and we can fix it. All right, thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present Captain Stephanie Leung, United States Navy. This is for you.
So, I've known Rabbi Amy Perlin for many years, and she always talks about the journey. The journey that has brought all of us here today is certainly not due to me, but about all of you and about those in attendance here today and those who could not be in attendance here today. Thank you, Brigadier General Carr, for agreeing to be my senior official of my retirement ceremony. although I struggled as to whether or not I was even going to have a retirement ceremony. Once the decision was made, you were the first and only person I could think of to preside over this event. Thank God you said yes. Rabbi Perlin, on Tuesday night, you brought the calm in my week that I truly needed, as you always do in times of stress. I am so pleased you could be here for this ceremony and be the one to help guide me and the family through this transition. Thank you very much. To my flag detail, Cy Boys, and Dick Para, it is certainly an honor to know you and call you my friends. You serve this country every day, and some of you have traveled from quite a distance to be here from places like Pakistan, Hawaii, Ohio, Virginia Beach, and others. I can't tell you what it means to me and my family to be part of this day and share this day with us. So I've been in a lot of formal military ceremonies, and when Captain Nicholson and I discussed the national anthem, Patty Reed and Sue Cohen with instrumentals was the only thing that came to mind. It's not often that we experience instrumentals only for our national anthem, but I knew the two of you would make this personal and special for all of us, and thank you so much for sharing your gift. My dad, my brother Mark, Aunt Lois, Uncle Mike, cousins Valerie and Shayna, my best friends Marcy and Renee and their families, Dale Walker, and my second mom and dad, Gail and Bernie Olenov, have traveled here to be with me, Vic, and the kids today. Somehow, you managed to be with us during every life event. I don't know how you do it. I could not stand here today without your love and support, no matter where I've been stationed. And you guys are just simply amazing how you do that all the time. Captain Nicholson, Brian, Lori, where are you? Sorry. San Diego brought Vic, Brian, and me together, Dave, Marianne, and eventually brought Lori to us and the kids. The four of you are like family, and I could not have made it to this podium today without a shoulder to lean on and your hearts to trust. People keep asking me what I'm doing after retirement, and if Zach were here today, he'd tell you that we're going to Disney next week, and that's true. The Nicholsons and the Leungs are going to venture to Florida together. But Brian, you put so much into this ceremony as well as your family, and I will always be forever grateful to that. So there's one small group that I have to mention. As you all know, as the journal mentioned, I'm a graduate of the University of Florida and a huge Gator fan. Today, 5 of my dearest friends from the ROTC unit are here, and I don't think we've all been together since before graduation because we're all different year groups. So Captain Reuter, Captain Lourdes Nealon, Danny Corbin, Jim Frank, and Dave Wood. How great is this? I mean, this is a Kodak moment for sure. All right, so this is like my third or fourth version of what I wanted to say after I got through these initial thank yous. The first time I sat down to write this, it seemed to dwell on all the things that have changed in the Navy over the last 26 years, and I seemed to concentrate primarily heavily on the impact change has had to do with women in the Navy. See, when I first received my commission, I was designated as a girl. Yep, a general unrestricted line officer, a girl. The designator was primarily reserved for females that were administrative in nature, jobs like personnel support detachments, admin officers, computer science. And you had to be in the Navy for a couple of years and submit an actual package and a board to be able to be an intel officer. Women were just not assigned to combat in warships. And it was a time when being called a girl was just not really offensive. I figured no one wanted to hear how far women have come in the service. We see it every day now, and for the younger generation of military men and women, it's a culture now, thank God. Then I tried refocusing this discussion towards opportunities I've had that I never expected, especially since my original plan was 4 years and out. I mean, people who really know me knew darn sure I wasn't going to take orders from anyone, so why in the world would I stay in the Navy? But here I am 26 years later, and as I look back and I realize serving your country and believing in what it stands for trumps any military command structure design, and it is a necessary way of doing business to continue to be the only superpower in the world today. Plus, I knew all that would be covered by General Carr and Captain Nicholson and didn't need to repeat that. So next I tried to think of reasons how you knew it was time to retire and make this a little more lighthearted. I promised my division that I wasn't going to break down because, you know, captains in the Navy, they don't cry. While this has been discussed before, some of the reasons like, you know it's time to retire when you start volume 3 of your medical record. Or, you know it's time to retire when the optometrist tells you that the reason you have to order 3 pairs of glasses is because you've been in the Navy too long, so you need a pair of bifocals, a pair of reading glasses, and a pair of computer glasses. And oh, by the way, don't forget, you'll have to buy your own pair of prescription sunglasses. Or you know it's time to retire when the Navy starts retreading names for newly commissioned ships that were around when you first entered service. You know it's time to retire. 26 years. 26 years ago, when addressed by the CO of the ROTC unit one night before our commissioning, he asked who intended on making this at least a 20-year career. I had to admit that I had no idea, sir, whether I'd stay in for 20-plus years or not, unlike my fellow midshipmen who eagerly just raised their hands. When asked why I didn't raise my hand, I told him I just didn't know. Why would I want to make a commitment before I really knew what was in store for me? Also, it was that whole thing about, taking orders and all that kind of thing. So I wanted to see if it was going to be challenging, if it was something I was really good at, and if I would have fun at it. I didn't want to be miserable for 20 years. So this is how I've always approached everything I do in life. I've always sought the most challenging parts of my job. I try to learn something new with every position. My dad taught me, you have to enjoy what you're doing if you're going to do it, otherwise just get off the train. I've enjoyed every minute, traveled to places I never expected to travel. I've had opportunities I can't even mention in my bio. Worked with people who led our military forces, our nations, and led other nations. I've learned something from every one of you that are sitting here today. This 26-year career that I really fell into has not really been a job or a burden. It is a lifestyle that has made an impact. I've seen the impact, and it has always been positive. I wore the title of military officer before the title of wife or mother, all 3 of which I serve proud, and all 3 of which I will always serve. People ask me if I've enjoyed it so much, why get out now and not wait 4 more years. This time, it's not about the job. This time, it's about the other 2 titles I wear, wife and mother. Vic, Samantha, Nicole, Timothy have supported all the moves, all the long hours, all the missed school and sports events, and now they just want to stay here. I got to grow up in the same place from 4th grade through high school. I've known Marcy and Renee my whole life. And to prove that while it's important to show your children other cultures and parts of the world, it's just as important for them to feel grounded. Lord knows Captain Ray Cross, our detailer, offered Vic and I some pretty sweet jobs following this tour. But this time, it's not about the job, it's about them. The last 3.5 years have brought me to places on the African continent I never expected to see in my lifetime, to work with some of the most amazing people who have unique passion for Africa, and work alongside a new combatant commander as they stood up to support the African area of responsibilities. Challenging? Yes. A great niche for me? Yes. Having a great time supporting a mission I believe in? Absolutely. Nope, today is a good day. But I'm only here today because of all of you. So to honor some of those special people, I'd like to take a couple minutes to personally recognize them. My division has been amazing during this tour and in support of our folks in the field. When you are stationed in Africa, you need to have a strong staff. I knew virtually nothing about the African area, and people like Stefan Arredondo, Pat Derby, Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Stansfield, Jerry Roller, and Steve Flickinger ensured my success with the details of what I needed to know to be successful, including how to say places like Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Vic and I had the fortunate opportunity to recognize them this week and be with them on Wednesday to show our appreciation. But I publicly wanted to call out Jaquella Huey and Mary Wynn, who were your POCs in order to get through the base today and get in the building today. And while Jaquella is not here today, I recognized her yesterday. Mary, where is Mary? Mary? Okay. I have roses for Mary, and we'll make sure they get to her later. As I said earlier, Patty and Sue, you made the opening part of the ceremony extremely memorable. Thank you both for playing the national anthem, and to show thanks, I wanted to be able to give you something to remember this day a little longer. They both get half a dozen. Dad, I hope these past 26 years is what you and Mom envisioned when you tried to initially convince me to get in the military. What many of you don't know is my dad was trying to convince Mark and I to join the military since we were like in 6th grade. We both thought he was crazy, but with a blink of an eye, it worked for me. If you knew my mom, she was patriotic and loyal to this country she fled to during the war, as is my dad. The last ceremony she attended was my promotion in Israel as a commander, which quite frankly I thought would be my last promotion. It was a difficult trip for her, but the night before the ceremony, she told me this country saved her life along with her sister, my Aunt Elsa, and it saves other lives every day. She told me no matter what others say about what we do around the world, to never forget what we do both domestically and abroad is important, and it is what truly made us a family. So, Dad, I not only wanted to honor Mom during the flag ceremony, which you'll see later on, but I wanted to honor both you and Mom. And while Vic's mom and dad cannot be here today, I know they are here in spirit. So, Dad, if you'll come up on behalf of all the parents to accept this Parents Medal.
The Military Parents Medal. The sacrifice of the parents and the military member readers is beyond compare. As a parent, they willingly offer their blessing when the child is compelled to serve their country. If it were not for the military parent, through their child's service, America would not enjoy all of the freedoms that exist today. The Military Parent Medal is my way of saying, you were then, as now, one of the most important parts of my life. It was your understanding, love, and assurance that enabled me to know what I was accomplishing was important.
Tim Man, you know, when I had my last promotion ceremony to captain, you were so excited about getting a box of Star Wars Legos. You remember that? Come here. And even though you're still a Star Wars fan, my, how you've grown. You turned 9 last week. You've developed more interest and learned so much more. But the one thing both of us share is the love for football, right? Especially what?
Gators.
Gator football. And thanks to Captain Billy Reuter right there. He scored us some tickets to the September 17th Florida-Tennessee game. So on the 17th of September, you and I are going to go to the swamp for the first time together, and we're going to go root for the orange and blue, okay? Samantha and Nicole. So I'm going to give you some roses, but I know they just don't cut it anymore. It's getting harder and harder to figure out something to give you to show you just how much I appreciate the support you've given me every day. No, Nicole, you're not getting a flat screen TV, sorry. But while the roses are just a small token of my love for both of you today, Daddy also let me buy you something very nice. You guys have been begging me for at least 2 years to go see something very special. Do you know what it is? You've been begging me to take you to go see the show Wicked. So on July 28th, you, me, and Aunt Sharon are going to see Wicked at the National Theater, and we've got really good seats. Where's the magazine at? The magazine. Maybe not so much. You're going to ruin my props.
Put it back in. We rehearsed this, really.
Ah, there it is. Okay, so Vic, it's been a great ride together. You've supported all my career decisions, and if it weren't for your support, none of this could have been realized. I knew when I couldn't be at home, you had the con, and I didn't have to worry. What many of you don't know about Vic is he covets expensive watches. I mean, some of these watches cost more than your mortgage. He buys this magazine. It's probably more than most magazines you guys pay for yourself. And while I didn't get you a prescription, I did buy you the magazine. So fast. I scored. Vic, you're not done. And I bought you a new watch to add to your famous book.
No kiss.
The DVD player to tell you how to use it. Today is a transition to something new, a new journey to begin. I'm not sure yet what that journey will look like, but the past 26 years went by like a flash. I know for those of you who will continue to serve, I am in awe of you and the opportunities you will get to experience. Make sure you find the toughest challenges, learn everything about what you do, and find another challenge to learn about, but most of all, have fun. If you do that, you'll have the same wonderful military career I've had and be as blessed as I have to have the friends and family and colleagues I have been blessed with, and to share being part of this elite group of men and women who serve our country. Thank you.
You don't get to sit down. You get to come back up here just for a quick minute here. Okay. All right. Anything else? All right, I'm all set. I'd now like to introduce Captain Richard Perry, United States Navy, retired. Captain Perry, as I believe, best described as a longtime mentor and friend to Captain Leung. Like many here, he's known her for quite a while. Dick, if you'll join me, in just a moment, Captain Perry will read Old Glory. Flag detail, post. Among our traditions is to retire a United States Navy flag along with the sailor in recognition of their years of service defending the Constitution of the United States of America. The flag you see in Captain Leung's shadow box is really a stunt double. That flag will be replaced by the flag that will now be presented to Captain Leung. In addition to being prepared as a remembrance of Captain Leung's service, the flag you see in this ceremony was flown over the Pentagon on 18 March 2011 in honor of her mother, Inga Kessler. 18 March is Mrs. Kessler's birthday. Captain Perry.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is held a little higher. My colors are a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshiped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved, and I am feared. For more than 200 years, I have fought in every battle of every war. off Flamborough Head with John Paul Jones, on the frigates Constitution and Constellation in 1812, with Farragut at New Orleans and Mobile Bay, with Dewey at Manila Bay, escorting convoys in the icy North Atlantic, at Pearl Harbor, Coral Sea, Midway, Guadalcanal, the Philippine Sea, the beaches of Anzio, Normandy, Leyte Gulf, Tarawa and Okinawa, at Incheon and in Yankee Station and Gonzo Station, in the Gulf of Sidra, off Grenada, Somalia, Bosnia, and Kosovo, in the heat of the Persian Gulf, and a score of other places long forgotten by all but those who were there with me. I was there. I led my sailors and Marines. I followed them and watched over them. They love me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered me. I was proud. I have been soiled, burned, torn, trampled on the streets of countries that I have helped to set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. And when it is by those with whom I have served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the surly bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the new frontier of space. I have been a witness to all of America's finest hours. I have flown over the top of the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. And after September 11th, 2001, I have flown over their rubble to remind the evil in our world that my spirit will not be crushed. The American people will not be broken. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips, to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle, when I fly half-mast to honor my sailors and Marines, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son or daughter. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God. Long may I wave.
The reason, of course, for all that you've seen thus far this afternoon is to honor Captain Stephanie Leung's service. She retires from the uniformed service to her country, and in a moment, we will pipe her ashore for the last time. I will now read Captain Leung's retirement orders. Guests will please stand. Attention to orders. From Commander, Navy Personnel Command, Millington, Tennessee, to the Defense Intelligence Agency, Washington, D.C. Subject, official retirement orders for Captain Stephanie S.K. Leung, United States Navy. Your request to be transferred to the retired list was approved by the Secretary of the Navy with an effective date of 1 July 2011. On 1 July 2011, you will be transferred to the retired list with the grade of captain. Proceed to home of selection. Regard relieved of all active duty, effective at 2400 on the date of detachment. Signed, D.P. Quinn, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, Navy Personnel Command. Brigadier General Carr will now present the certificate of